let's talk about it. Lockdown Arsenal was one of the worst teams ever. Now look, I've supported Arsenal my whole life, and I've never seen a team so bad, full of absolute melts. Every single game, it was like, how many are we going to lose today? How many games are we going to bottle today? And yet, somehow, by some miracle, this team won a trophy. What? So without further ado, let's go back in time, shall we? Now, it looked like we were going to start the season well. We beat Newcastle and Burnley. 6 points on the board. Then we travelled to Anfield and imploded. We lost 3-1. Then it got even worse. In the North London derby, these clowns almost lost to Spurs. We had to come back against them. It had been a terrible, terrible start. And those games against Burnley and Newcastle, we barely won. Then we went on an okay run, drawing against Watford after being 2-0 up, somehow beating Aston Villa, coming back to get a draw against Man United, and barely beating Bournemouth. But the man who scored against Bournemouth was David Luiz, our biggest enemy that year. That's the only time I've ever been happy with David Luiz. Unai Emery, the worst Arsenal manager in history, was finally gone after a 2-1 loss against Eintracht Frankfurt. And I'm telling you now, no Arsenal fan on this planet was sad that we lost that game. We were celebrating the fact that the devil of football was gone and we were free from Unai Emery. So who did we appoint? Mikel Arteta, Pep's little assistant coach. And my man came in. When Arteta walked in, he saw this back line. My man had to deal with David Luiz, Mustafi and Socrates as a back line. And he had to rescue our season, basically. Now, we've been drawing games for fun. How do you draw 4 games in a row to teams like Sheffield United and Crystal Palace? We were so bad. Then we actually went on a 3-game winning streak against teams like Norwich and Southampton. Everybody thought we were back. But no, we weren't. Now let's talk about Brighton 2, Arsenal 1, the game that changed football forever. So, if you don't know, Bernd Leno was injured, right? And who replaced him? Emi Martinez, the guy who would go on to save 2 crucial penalties in the World Cup final, just 2 years later. Now, this game was so crazy. Like, Bernd Leno getting injured, Maupay rattling basically every Arsenal fan alive. This game was nuts. Now let's move on. After a painful North London derby loss, we actually ended the season quite well. Somehow we beat Liverpool. I don't know how, but Van Dijk dropped an absolute disaster class, and Nelson and Lacazette cooked up Liverpool. We somehow beat Liverpool. This was one of our best league results of the year. We ended the season with a very, very nervy win against Watford. Now let's talk about our somehow crazy FA Cup run. This season, we somehow won a trophy. Yeah, we won the FA Cup. Now, this run was crazy, beating teams like Sheffield United and Bournemouth along the way. But in the semi-final, we took on Man City. There was no hope. Even I was saying there was no hope. And I'm delusional. But we somehow beat Man City 2-0. Aubameyang cooking. Now, little shout out to Aubameyang. If we didn't have this guy, we would have got relegated that year. So, I love you, Aubameyang. Then, in the final, we took on Chelsea. This was our season. If we lost this game, in the club, and we won. Somehow we won. We won a trophy, ending a horrible season with a trophy. It was kind of a good end, you know. But there you go, guys. Thank you for watching. It's just a little short video. This Friday I've got a big video coming out, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.